very excited to bring over Tim Moore, the CEO of Havn Life Sciences. How are you, Tim?
I'm doing great, Elliot. I'm just having a technical glitch here with trying to share my screen. So I don't know why the window keeps disappearing.
Take your time. Take your time. We will get that shortly.
It worked great in rehearsal. You know, isn't that what the magicians always say?
Absolutely. I was better before you saw me.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, Tim, you are Havn. That's Havn. You are listed on the CSC, Havn, OTC, HAVLF. Another amazing company, I believe, in the psychedelic space. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I'm very excited to hear from you. It's an interesting conversation we're having around psychedelics today, and what we can look forward to invest in them.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to sharing my story with your audience as soon as I can.
No worries. I'll bump you back down, and once your screen share is figured out, I'll do another poll here with the audience, and then maybe we can. Once we get the screen up, we can continue here. Oh, looks like I see it.
Yeah, you do. Sorry, I'm there. All right, we're good to go.
All right, I'm out of here, Tim. I'll let you take it away.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for showing some interest in Havn Life, and welcome to our story. I'm going to start just with a little background on myself and why I'm here. I'm a career packaged goods person. I've spent 35 years in the consumer packaged goods space, 18 years at Clorox. 7 years running the North America Brita business, a few other stops along the way. I spent some time in the cannabis space as a result of personal experience. I've got 5 sons. My oldest is 35. My youngest is 24. I've dealt with mental health issues with them over the last 3 decades. My middle son was hit by a drunk driver 6 years ago, became an opioid addict, and he's recovered now because cannabis saved his life, and that was my motivation to get into the cannabis space. When I saw the promise that psychedelics and psychoactives offer for things like PTSD and anxiety and depression and so on, I was excited to be part of that industry, and so I joined Havn Life. I mean, I had a suicidal 14-year-old. I saw what that was like. I have 2 kids with anxiety disorder. So I've got the scar tissue, and now I'm in the industry that's going to help a lot of people. So I'm really excited to be part of it, and looking forward to offering hope to people, because that's what I think we're in, is the industry of hope. So our mission is to, using evidence-based research, focus on quality-controlled extraction of psychedelic compounds, as well as natural health products. We're focused on cognitive health and human performance, and we do that through 2 core business units. Our Havn Labs unit is building a facility in Vancouver where we'll be cultivating mushrooms, extracting compounds. We're currently prototyping those and qualifying those protocols in Jamaica, where we've built out a smaller facility where we have our first crop, and we're doing our extraction work. We've partnered with a GMP lab there, which will allow us to export. What we saw was an opportunity in the market to create a library of naturally derived compounds to support researchers, clinicians, and eventually formulators. Our second business is Havn Retail. That is a very traditional packaged goods business. We just this week launched our first 7 SKUs. I'll come back to that in several slides. But it's, again, mushroom and plant-based products as an alternative to pharmaceuticals to assist people in a number of different areas. We're launching in Canada right now. We've got our e-commerce site up, and we plan to roll to additional markets, the US next year and beyond in future years. To support that diverse strategy, we've got a diverse and complementary team. Myself with my packaged goods experience, our Chief Science Officer, Gary Leung, who comes to us from Jameson Labs and from Afria. Dr. Ivan Castleman is a 3rd-generation cannabis person who's been working in psychedelics the last 5 or 6 years. He has a PhD in plant-based compounds. Alex, the chemist, is our Chief Research Officer. He's the one that's leading our extraction team. Jenna Poser has 18 years in the nutraceutical space, and she's our Chief Operating Officer, leading our business on the nutritional supplement side. Our board and advisory board, Vic Neufeld, who also comes from Jameson Labs, he spent some time at AFRI as the chairman there, as the CEO there. Dr. David Mokler is on faculty at the University of New England. He's done research in psychedelics for decades. He teaches PhDs in the space. Alan Oberman has a pharmaceutical background. He was with Teva Pharmaceuticals. He was based in Israel for a while and ran their Middle East and Africa business, and then back in the US and ran their Americas business, which is about a $13 billion pharmaceutical business. Tim Laidler is a veteran. He serves on our board. He's currently the executive director of the Institute for Veterans Education and Transition, which is located at UBC. Sheila Copps is former Deputy Prime Minister of Canada. She worked with Indigenous people to get them legal access to plant-based and other alternative remedies. And David King is with King's College in the UK and is a well-known expert on psychedelics as well. So what we're seeing is the convergence of some mega trends, which is why we're seeing the mushroom boom right now and why we see the opportunity for Havn Life to be so tremendous. First, we have mental health. We have millions and millions of people affected. 11% of the population has some form of mental health issues. That's growing, and the COVID pandemic is going to lead to additional mental health issues, in my opinion. We haven't seen something of this scale since the Second World War that's affected so many people, whether they lost their jobs, lost a loved one, lost a business, someone died, they couldn't visit them in the hospital, they couldn't have a funeral, whatever it is. There's been some profound events that have affected people, and we can't expect that there won't be some mental health consequences from that. And then the healthcare workers that have been working with battlefield conditions. I mean, when was the last time we built temporary morgues? I don't remember it in my lifetime. So mental health is a large and growing issue. Second, and a very expensive issue. I mean, billions of dollars spent on pharmaceuticals, on treatments, billions of dollars lost in productivity. So it's a huge issue. The second trend we're seeing is a change in the attitude towards mental health. It wasn't that long ago that we called these people crazy and put them in asylums and sanatoriums. Now it's okay to not be okay, to seek treatment, to say you're getting treatment. So more and more people are coming forward and seeking treatment. There are also more and more people that are rejecting pharmaceuticals, whether it's weight gain or sexual dysfunction or dependency or whatever. There's a lot of people seeking alternatives. So there's a lot of self-medication taking place. So attitudes toward mental health and treatment of mental health have changed a lot. And then the third trend is public policy, where the policymakers are recognizing that the other two trends are taking place. In Canada, we're seeing an increased number of exemptions for end-of-life compassionate care for psychedelic-assisted therapy. As that continues to grow, the government's going to be required to provide people with a safe and reliable supply. That's where Havn Life comes in, providing that safe and reliable supply. We were the first company to be granted a Section 56 exemption from Health Canada, which allowed us to do research in the last year on quality and quantity of psilocybin in our processes. We did that in a lab, and now we're validating those processes, as I said, in Jamaica. Another major trend is functional mushrooms, which is the opportunity that we have with the nutritional supplements. Functional mushrooms is a very fast-growing market, projected to be $35 billion by 2024, and it's a global opportunity. So people are seeking an alternative, whether it's for pharmaceuticals or for functional foods or nutritional supplements. So our two paths to market on Havn Retail, we've already launched our products. We'll be in revenue this month. We'll build that revenue as we expand our retail customer base and expand our e-commerce platforms. And we'll continue to build out our portfolio of products. We are also offering a white label service. We've signed our first white label customer. We'll be manufacturing product for them, and we're in negotiations with others. On Havn Labs, because we are going to be a supplier of API to researchers, we'll be able to be in revenue this year. Our Jamaica facility will have a psilocybin API that we'll be able to export to our supply agreement customers. We have several of those agreements signed, and we've had several others in discussion. In addition to that, we'll be expanding that footprint to other geographies as well. So, looking forward to this year, we're working on building out the lab in Vancouver and getting our dealer's license so that next year we can supply our psychedelic compounds to clinicians and researchers around the world. We're doing it in a GMP facility. Frankly, it's pretty easy to grow mushrooms. I mean, just unplug your refrigerator and wait a few days and you're going to be growing mushrooms. What's really difficult is to grow mushrooms in a GMP compliant facility so that it can be used as API in FDA approved clinical trials and in pharmaceuticals. So we've spent a good deal of time in developing the protocols which currently don't exist for the GMP cultivation and extraction of naturally derived compounds. So we're building the state-of-the-art facility. We expect to have it operational by the end of this year and licensed sometime by around the beginning of 2022. And in the meantime, we'll use the Jamaica facility where psilocybin is seen as a functional food and falls under the Ministry of Agriculture rather than the Ministry of Health. One of our core focus areas is veterans. It's a sad statistic that more veterans have committed suicide than died in the Afghanistan war. We partner with Heroic Hearts in the UK, the US, and in Canada. They are a lobby group as well as offering retreats for veterans. So we're a supplier to them as well as a supporter of their programs. As I said, there's currently no standardized protocols for cultivation of mushrooms to GMP standards, and that's really white space that we're exploiting and see that as a place that we can defend as a unique position. A lot of the focus is on microdosing. So microdosing is a therapeutic dose that does not have the psychedelic consequences. If you want to see what a psychedelic experience is like, on Netflix, watch Gwyneth Paltrow's show Goop Lab, season 1, episode 1. She takes her team to a psychedelic retreat in Jamaica. And what you'll see is it's a very intense experience. You really need to have a guide with you, someone that is qualified to deal with the emotional consequences of that experience. So microdosing offers the promise of that therapeutic benefit, but without the consequence of losing a day or a weekend. And frankly, it's a better business model. So a lot of the research and work that we're doing is focused on microdosing. On the nutraceutical side, we're leveraging a well-established consumer behavior. 74% of Canadians take nutritional supplements on a regular basis. It's a growing business. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry in Canada and the US. And so, small market share can lead to a significant revenue. Our portfolio of nutritional supplements is focused on mindfulness, stress, anxiety, and immunity. Our first 7 SKUs are shown here. They've now shipped and are available. If you want to go to our yourhavenlife.com, you can see them. If you feel like ordering them, they're available there for shipment to Canada or the US today. The indications for them: mind mushroom against immunity and energy, memory and mood support, mental fatigue, stress, anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, brain and body balance, energy booster, and Zen support. All of our products are non-GMO, gluten-free, vegan, and we use extracts which provide greater concentration of the active ingredients and better purity and easier to dose. We've recently acquired a manufacturing facility in Vancouver, which allows us to leverage their existing revenue stream as well as expand our distribution to those customers. It also lets us bring some of our manufacturing in-house to improve our cost of goods, and it will support our white labeling program because we'll be able to do additional packaging work in our facility. Our roadmap, as I said, we're working on getting our dealer's license this year. We're in the middle of that process. We submitted to Health Canada last year. It's normally a 270 days application cycle, but Health Canada is currently distracted with the pandemic, so that's been taking longer. We're still on track, though, to have the facility ready. On the retail side, we'll continue to build out a portfolio. We're going into the functional food space and looking to add additional SKUs this year to, again, leverage the growing consumer demand for functional foods with functional mushrooms. Next year, we'll be expanding our markets for both retail and labs. Market cap right now is slightly under $100 million, which leaves a lot of upside for shareholders. we see an opportunity for building additional value through M&A activity. We have already done one transaction. We're looking at some others. We see places to accelerate and amplify our business plan by acquiring businesses that are complementary to our business strategy. Our cap table, we have 114 million shares outstanding. We have no debt. We have cash on hand to cover our roadmap through the balance of this fiscal year, and we're looking forward to what comes next. With that, Elliot, I'll come back to you.
Fantastic, Tim. You guys are doing some really admirable things. I do want to point out for all you literal thinkers, I don't think he was recommending unplugging your refrigerator. I don't think that is a part of the experiment of growing psychedelic. But that being said, Tim, you have a very, very interesting company. We were talking to Dr. Joseph Tucker earlier from Magic Med, and he was saying if you're an early entrant into the psychedelic industry, it bodes well for the company. And you already have SKUs. You already have it sounds like 7 different lines, up and running. Do you agree with that? Do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, so we think that first mover advantage is a big deal. I mean, we actually have a crop of psychedelic mushrooms growing in a legal facility in Jamaica under GMP conditions, which will allow us to export it. So I think that, that does give us an advantage. We're also, I think it's important that we've taken the words and made them into actions. And I'm very proud of what our team has accomplished in getting these 7 SKUs launched this week. I mean, when I got my sample box, I was excited, right? And it's like, this stuff is real. And, it's when people can say, here's my real product, right? And it's, it's not words anymore. And frankly, the team did that. We're startup. It's a small team. And we did that in less than a year and during a pandemic. And so it is going to be hard for people to catch up to us. So yeah, let's leverage the fact that we're a first mover and we've got things going.
I love that, Tim. I love that. So what milestones are you looking for in the balance of maybe this year and next year? Just so we can maybe look for some timelines in terms of your future here.
The next step, we're going to go live on Amazon in the next week or so. That's exciting. So that will expand our audience for our retail products pretty significantly. Our website's up and operational. And it's funny, we turned it on the night before we went live, and we had orders in the first few minutes. It was kind of exciting. So, but yeah, Amazon is an important milestone. Additional retail customers that we'll be able to announce will be important. New SKUs. We have 16 SKUs that are currently in development. We just need to choose which ones of those we want to take to market on the nutritional supplement side. And then on the lab side, I think the milestone will be actually exporting API from Jamaica to another market to be the first company to have done that. And we're expecting to see that in the coming months as well. And as I said earlier, another important milestone will be the completion of our lab in Vancouver and securing our dealer's license. So that's what we expect to happen in the balance of this year. It's a lot, but we're focused.
Yeah, no, I've focused, and obviously a lot of good news to come, Tim. So appreciate you being here and sharing your story now. Several people in the chat enjoyed hearing from you. We actually, if you can answer in 30 seconds, we do have a question that just came up. Sorry, does Havn have any patents or ongoing regulatory testing programs? If you can hit on that shortly.
Yeah, we have one preclinical trial on inflammation and immunity that's in field right now with Dr. Mokler. And we are in due diligence on it. We just closed a transaction with acquiring a patent on a combination of drugs for treating cluster headaches. So yes, we have a patent and we do have a trial.
Perfect. Tim, thank you so much for being here with us. Havn Life Sciences is obviously a great story, great company, lots of news to come. And I look forward to catching up with you again in the next few months to see what's happened.
Thanks a lot. Everybody have a great day. Take care.
Be well.